Alright. BCA-101. This is Monday, 10/3/16, day 15 in the class. Alright. So, first of all, we did a little review. What's the most important things on a motherboard? Central processing unit, RAM, memory, central processing unit, running software, right? The software will be in there running. And then we mentioned like Photoshop from Adobe. It's big. It's a big piece of software. So it can't fit it all in. We referred to then the hard drive, in which we can have virtual memory. We can have an area on the hard drive, and it looks like memory, though it's not really RAM memory, but it looks like it. And we're able to exchange information back and forth from there in the memory. So the computer can leave some of the more sophisticated things, maybe by Adobe out here, the system, actually the operating system does that, and then it can bring it in when it needs it. We talked about storage, and we said magnetic storage, putting dots on the disk, read-write head reading it. We talked about optical, that burns spots in the disk. This can be advantageous because it's much harder to lose those or damage them. Magnetic spots, if you have a magnet near your hard drive, that can be some issues. Or, over time, those magnetic spots could diminish. Alright, then we talked about solid state flash. And you can have solid state storage, which is extremely fast. Now, there's some issues yet with solid state in terms of how permanent can it be, how many times can you read and write to it, but it's become really well designed, and it's amazing. First thing we have to do when you turn on, boot up a computer, you have to load that operating system in, and if it's coming off a solid state drive, you can load it in 15 seconds instead of 30, 35, 40, or whatever. And then the performance of writing back and forth, extremely fast. So, great improvement. So then today, here's what we did. First of all, we had our topics, and the first topic I already talked about, that was storage. And then we did some questions on input and output, and we used poll everywhere. And we'll look at those results, but we talked a little bit about them in terms of important things for input, important things for output. Output, we talked about things like audio. And we did an example of Bluetooth audio, how expensive that could be. We talked about anything from around $40 to around $1,500 for those devices. We talked about voice. When you're talking to your phone, it's being digitized because communications are digital, which means they are ones and zeros. Talked a little bit about the camera, webcams, monitoring things all over the place. And then one example I gave is a camera on the back of a vehicle that can keep track if somebody's walking behind it. It can actually apply the brakes. Is that important? Yeah, that's way important. All right, and that's input. The camera is inputting information into the computer. All right, then the next thing we talked about were your thoughts. We were going to watch a video, and before we started the video, I said some people can report on the video, more or less, what did the video say, or somebody can give an analysis. What are their thoughts about what was said? Okay? Students agreed, at least those that would say something, that analysis is harder to do than just reporting out. If you take good notes, you can report out, like minutes at a meeting. So we watched the video, and then the last 15 minutes students had an opportunity to start their spreadsheets work. And then ask me questions. And there were a few questions. So we want to be working on the spreadsheet, filling in the outline, and that's it for today.